Trust has built empires, created lifelong friendships, and transformed strangers into allies. But trust has also destroyed careers, broken families, and turned friends into enemies. 500 years ago, Niccolò Machiavelli studied a reality that most people prefer to ignore. The people closest to you can become your greatest source of strength, or your greatest source of pain. If you want to understand friendship, loyalty, betrayal, and human nature, you must first understand the strategy of trust. Trust is one of the most valuable resources a human being possesses. Every friendship, relationship, business partnership, and alliance depends on it. Without trust, cooperation becomes impossible. Yet trust carries a hidden danger. The moment you trust someone, you become vulnerable. You allow another person access to your thoughts, emotions, weaknesses, and opportunities. Machiavelli understood this paradox well. He observed that trust creates connection, but it also creates exposure. Most people assume loyalty is permanent. History suggests otherwise. Circumstances change. Incentives change. Priorities change. Modern psychology confirms that human behavior is heavily influenced by context. A loyal friend today may face pressures tomorrow that alter their decisions. This does not mean people are naturally evil. It means human nature is complex. The strategist recognizes that trust is necessary, but understands that blind trust can be dangerous. Wisdom comes from balancing openness with awareness, rather than choosing one extreme. Most people prefer to believe that others are consistently rational, fair, and loyal. Machiavelli disagreed. His observations of political leaders, alliances, and human behavior led him to a more realistic conclusion. People are often guided by self-interest. They seek security, status, recognition, and advantage. Modern psychology supports many of these observations. Human beings naturally prioritize survival, belonging, and personal benefit. Even good people can make selfish decisions when circumstances become difficult. This is why Machiavelli advised leaders to understand people as they are, rather than as they wish them to be. In friendships, this lesson remains important. Trusting someone does not require ignoring human nature. It requires understanding it. The strategist does not expect perfection from others. Instead, they recognize that everyone possesses strengths, weaknesses, virtues, and flaws. Understanding this reality prevents disappointment and encourages wiser decisions about who deserves deeper trust. One of the hardest truths about friendship is that people change. The friend who understands you today may become a stranger years from now. Shared goals evolve, priorities shift, life circumstances create distance. Machiavelli observed that alliances often remain strong while interests align. Problems arise when those interests diverge. Modern psychology explains this through changing identities and social environments. People adapt to new careers, relationships, financial situations, and personal ambitions. Sometimes these changes strengthen friendships. Sometimes they weaken them. Many people experience betrayal, not because a friend suddenly became a different person, but because they ignored signs that priorities had shifted long ago. The strategist understands that friendships require maintenance. Loyalty cannot survive indefinitely without mutual effort. Strong relationships are built through shared values, trust, and consistent behavior. When those foundations disappear, the friendship often changes, regardless of intentions. Few experiences are more painful than betrayal. The reason betrayal hurts so deeply is simple. It can only come from someone you trusted. Strangers cannot betray expectations they never possessed. Machiavelli understood that betrayal often emerges when personal incentives overpower loyalty. Modern psychology offers similar insights. Human beings frequently justify actions that benefit themselves, even when those actions harm others. Fear, ambition, jealousy, insecurity, and opportunity can all contribute to betrayal. The strategist recognizes that betrayal rarely appears without warning. Small inconsistencies often precede larger violations of trust. Promises become unreliable. Actions stop matching words, respect begins to decline. Understanding betrayal does not require becoming suspicious of everyone. It requires paying attention. The people most vulnerable to betrayal are often those who ignore warning signs because they desperately want to believe everything is fine. Awareness provides protection without requiring cynicism. Trust grows through gradual disclosure. One of the biggest mistakes people make is revealing too much too quickly. Genuine trust is earned through repeated demonstrations of character, reliability, and consistency. Modern psychology shows that healthy relationships develop through reciprocal vulnerability. People build trust step by step. The strategist understands this process. They do not reveal their deepest fears, ambitions, and weaknesses immediately. Instead, they allow trust to develop naturally over time. Opening up becomes appropriate when someone consistently demonstrates loyalty, discretion, honesty, and reliability. Trust should be based on evidence rather than emotion alone. Many people confuse comfort with trustworthiness. Someone can be charismatic, entertaining, or emotionally supportive while still being unreliable. The strategist evaluates behavior over extended periods rather than relying solely on feelings. Openness becomes a strength when directed toward the right people. Not everyone deserves full access to your inner world. This is one of Machiavelli's most practical lessons. The strategist understands that information is valuable. Personal vulnerabilities, ambitions, insecurities, and weaknesses should not be shared carelessly. Modern psychology supports the importance of boundaries. Healthy boundaries protect emotional well-being and reduce the likelihood of exploitation. Guarding your heart does not mean becoming cold or distant. It means exercising judgment. Some individuals repeatedly demonstrate dishonesty, gossip, manipulation, or self-interest. Trusting such people blindly often creates unnecessary suffering. The strategist learns to distinguish between kindness and naivety. They remain respectful and compassionate while maintaining appropriate boundaries. Not every relationship requires complete openness. Sometimes protecting your peace requires limiting access to those who have not earned deeper trust. Many people mistake dependence for loyalty. Loyalty is freely chosen, while dependence comes from fear of losing someone. Machiavelli warned that excessive dependence creates vulnerability because it gives others power over your emotions and decisions. Healthy friendships are built on mutual respect, not emotional reliance. The strategist values loyalty deeply but remains independent. They do not place their happiness, identity, or security entirely in another person's hands. True friendship strengthens both people without creating unhealthy dependence or blind obedience. Machiavelli's lesson on trust is simple. Trust people gradually and judge them by actions, not promises. Anyone can appear loyal for a moment, but character reveals itself through consistent behavior over time. Modern psychology supports this idea, showing that past behavior is often the best predictor of future actions. The strategist neither trusts blindly nor becomes cynical. Instead, they allow trust to be earned. Their goal is not building walls around themselves, but creating doors that open only for the right people. Trust remains essential, but it must be supported by evidence rather than wishful thinking. Machiavelli understood a truth that psychology still confirms today. Trust is essential, but trust without wisdom becomes vulnerability. Learn to judge people by their actions, not their promises. Open your heart carefully, protect it when necessary, and never ignore human nature. Watch the next video now to continue your journey into strategy, influence, and psychological mastery.